Joining us right now is Trump surrogate and former apprentice contestant Erin Elmore. Erin, thanks very much for joining us. Good to see you. You were actually with Ivanka Trump yesterday.
All day. I moderated all 4 of the discussions with her, so I was with her from about 6 in the morning till 8 o'clock at night.
Now, of course, the subject du jour is what Trump has said about women, all the media running with that. Did Ivanka Trump, being a successful woman, someone who people like a lot, did that help? Do you think the tone, is that the strategy, get her out there in the face of all of this talk about Trump's comments about women?
This visit to Pennsylvania was planned for several months, so we knew it was coming. I obviously was very excited for it, but just traveling across the Philadelphia region in Pennsylvania, Ivanka is so well-liked nationally, but Pennsylvania is still really fired up for Donald Trump. She really transcends both parties, being such an inspiring working mother, a philanthropist, a businesswoman, and now out in the political campaign. She's just so well-liked, and she's really just a lovely individual who's so down to earth. And after spending this whole day meeting people from the state, she said, all right, I'm going to go home and bake my son a birthday cake. How real of a woman is that?
That is great. And by the way, even Hillary Clinton said that's the one thing she likes about Donald Trump, her kids. I want to get the ladies' take at the table on this, because winning the women vote is so critical for Trump. According to the latest Fox News polls, ladies, he's trailing Clinton by double digits with women. The same poll found that 44% of voters do not believe Trump respects women. What is the strategy, and what do you think about that, Dagan?
One thing that Ivanka can do, and Erin can speak to this, is that speaking at rallies is one thing, but his supporters are those people who are at the rallies. It's getting her out there on television and doing more interviews. It's a tricky position to be put in, but again, I think that that Donald Trump needs to speak to people who are not on board with his campaign, not at rallies. And I just want to bring up the polls really quickly, because with independents, he had a 12-point lead with independents in late September. He is now tied with Hillary Clinton in terms of independents.
That's a big give back.
And then the enthusiasm advantage that he had is gone. He had 70% of his backers strongly supported him last week. That has fallen by 7 percentage points. So there is concern in these poll numbers, this Fox News poll, about what has happened in the last week.
And not just, speaking to his base, but also trying to use a little different strategies than one he's used before, like when these allegations came out, like I mentioned earlier, talking about that woman from People and saying, well, look at her, what do you think? I mean, that might have been something that people would say was funny in the primaries, but when you're having that much of a problem with women, please, I mean, can you not see how that would be a bad idea, Donald? Come on. Come on. I don't understand it.
What do you think about that, Erin?
Well, I have a lot of thoughts right now, and one of them is I believe that the discourse has become so vitriolic, whether it's the liberal media, social media, when you're just walking down the street. People are so vitriolic and so angry that I feel like a lot of independent voters and even Republicans and Democrats that are crossing over to the Republican side have sort of gone into hiding. So the poll numbers might be down, but I really still think that there's a lot of closet supporters of Donald Trump, because the discourse has just become so vitriolic. And meanwhile, all the things that Hillary Clinton is doing wrong, and whether it's insulting the Catholics or the scandals over her emails that just keep on growing and growing and growing,
right.
How you can even vote for her, it's almost crazy. And those things just get swept under the rug. Instead, we're going to talk about alleged comments that Donald Trump made 11 years ago.
That's
not
right,
alleged.
That's right. And one thing that we're not going to do is we're not going to have this dominate without looking at the other side. What did you want to say, Dagan?
No, they weren't alleged. He said them. He said them. They're on an open mic.
Right.
Erin, just to correct that, like, those aren't this isn't something someone said, oh, he said that and repeated it.
Okay, the alleged allegations from the... Okay, fine, sure,
yeah.
great. The allegations of all of these women are certainly alleged.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. Okay. So WikiLeaks released another batch of emails from the Clinton campaign and its chairman, John Podesta, yesterday. One of these emails highlighted a speech that Clinton never gave in the summer of last year on her email scandal. It took a much more apologetic tone than she had previously taken at the time, saying, quote, but I can't do it all again. I can only tell you it was a mistake, regret it, explain it, and help state and others fix any challenges it caused. James Freeman, your thoughts on this email scandal?
Well, I certainly think people would have maybe look at this differently today if she had been honest in March of 2015. If she didn't say this was all about convenience, if she didn't make a lot of claims that have since turned out to be false. And And even, you know, though, to call it a mistake is really misleading because it was a very complicated, willful effort to keep her information, or it's actually our information, the American people own it, to keep that information private.
Right.
So, mistake.
I mean, there's a reason that you set up your own private server in your basement. You don't want anybody seeing, you don't want to share your emails.
Yeah.
That's not a mistake. You did that intentionally.
And I think we've seen since then a big reason she did not want the public to have the normal access to her information is she did not want them to see these close connections between the Clinton Foundation, which was raising a lot of money from people with business before the State Department, and her State Department. And I mean, that alone, I would think that would be disqualifying.
Especially since she did promise to not even give the appearance that something like that would be going on. She can't even stick to her own standards, which is disturbing.
Yeah.
Very.
Well,
and what about paying Bill Clinton? You know, what about paying Bill Clinton $300,000 from Saudi Arabia so they could get guns? Is that just no big deal either, right? This is just so corroborating and pay for play. It's insane.
Yeah. Well, it's obviously incredible what we've learned from these emails. But the question now is, with 25 days to go, is that going to resonate as much as it has been resonating with these new allegations around Donald Trump? What does he need to do to keep to message and keep the focus there? Erin?
Oh, yeah.
What's his plan going into the debate next week?
Spending the day yesterday with Ivanka and seeing how, you know, the American people, and especially people of the swing state of Pennsylvania, reacted to her, she's an amazing person to have out there campaigning for him. She's absolutely wonderful and really resonates with both parties and independents. So she's a great step. And I think Donald Trump has to just stay on message and continue to discuss his policies and how Hillary Clinton has literally had nothing to stand on for the last 30 years other than scandal and pay for play and lies and lies and lies and lies piled on top of lies.
Erin, I couldn't agree more. Ivanka is a perfect surrogate to speak to those suburban working moms that he's really having trouble with right now. And you meet her, she's very impressive. I'm not really big on her health care or child care tax ideas, but the question is...
Maybe because you're not a working mom.
Given her skills, her talents, the impressive presentation she makes, are we going to see more of her? Do you, looking at the upcoming, you know, you've got a month here.
She hasn't been out a lot.
Is part of the plan to get her out there in those collar counties around Philly more, out to suburban areas in different states?
I certainly hope to be spending more time with her and Tiffany and Melania, to be honest. I think they're all wonderful women and will be strong for the campaign. And I think in these next 25 days, we're going to be seeing more of all of the children, and they're also impressive.